The show today brought to you by the Academy of Orthopedic Physical Therapy, the leaders in orthopedic physical therapy. Find them online at orthopt.org. Now, with their current concepts of physical therapy in their 5th edition, it can help you prepare for that OCS examination. Find them online at orthopt.org. The Brooks Institute of Higher Learning gives you advanced post-professional education with 7 on-site PT residencies, including orthopedics, women's health, pediatrics, sports, and neurology, as well as an OMPT fellowship, all focused on experiential learning. Find out more at brooksihl.org.
Happy Tuesday. Where's the music? There we go. Fancy music. Are you frozen or are you just holding still really well? There you are.
I'm here.
There you go. Before patients, let me take a wild guess. You got a pint glass that's after patients, or a shot glass.
This is family members, but I think the after patients, it's a wine glass.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
That's a brilliant business idea.
I was actually thinking when they sell these, is it 2 mugs and 2 glasses? I don't know, or is it 1 and 1?
Yeah, I've gotten 1 and 1 before. I've gotten
like an individual set. It's 1 mug and 1 wine glass, but then you put the mug in the cabinet and then you put the wine glass probably somewhere else.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's cute. I should bring back my Shopify store. I had a few people DM me. It's like, it's funny, man. Like, we won't get anybody saying anything about the content we make. And then all of a sudden there'll be like 5 messages in like 24 hours. It's very, very odd how things like that work sometimes. And nobody said anything. I took my Shopify store down because I was going to like redo it. And then nobody said anything. And I was like, I'll put it on my list. But like, I haven't gotten around. It's been down for like a year. And I'm like, just not motivated to do it. And then 3 people were like, where's that thing? I have to buy something for someone. Although it's like shopping time, right? It's like November, December. Yeah. So maybe I should get my ass in gear and put the Shopify store back up. We sold a lot of those. Like, I did a parody of the Dr. Might have been close, might have resembled the Dr. Pepper logo, but it was different enough to be different. And it said Doctor of Physical Therapy. And I sold like pint glasses and, tumblers and stuff like that. Very similar to the colors of the soda brand, but not the same. And people are now asking for those, like, oh, where's that thing? So maybe I need to get my ass in gear. Tony's going to join us in a little bit. Do you want to start with this that you shared in the group chat the other day? This little like screenshot?
Do we have anything else? Because I would love to hear Tony's input on that as well.
We've got Tony going viral, and we've also had the letter that you shared from the allergist. We got that too. I feel like that.
Oh, but that was also from Tony. We need him here. Also, Tony, he's commenting live right now on YouTube. Do you see this?
He is always watching.
Tony doesn't sleep. It's like Dracula.
Well, what's been going on with you in the last 24 hours? I saw you shared more of the same, or you're still looking to fill that position, even though you had a bunch of people sort of respond to it, knowing that you need 50 people to respond before you find the right person. You still looking for someone?
I am. So I have a great candidate through PT Match. Spoke with her once last week, and a couple things. So one is she's just ran the New York City Marathon. She lives somewhere else. She's going to be moving here while I'm in Georgia right now, in New York City. She's going to be moving to NYC in either December or January. So it was great. And the fact that a therapist ran the New York City Marathon tells me a ton, right? In my opinion, like persistence, discipline, self-motivating, like all those types of great characteristics. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if she didn't finish, but you can check online, you can see who finished and all that. So still looking to fill the role. She might be the next one, but I'm always on LinkedIn with the manual prospecting, because if I can avoid the recruiting fee of $7,200, why wouldn't I?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, we're always trying to look for the thing without the fee. Like, how do we get the thing? And like, I feel like people have gotten bold. I don't know about you, if you felt like this, but like, do people like ask you for like discounts, like without hesitation more frequently, or like for stuff for free? Side? Like, people ask me for stuff for free more in the last 6 months than have in the last 3 years. But like, can you just do this and like work for several hours and create something, and then maybe I'll pay you it's like $100 good? I'm like, no. I'm learning to say that word a lot more. But like, do you see that a lot more?
So for my stuff, it would be what, on the patient facing side, asking for discounts or
Or asking for
free or
like
oh well,
Hitoni, like an
the,
hour of your time.
thank you, Tony Maritato, for helping nudge me over. I think it was over the last year or two, to create a Clarity profile, and it's basically like for paid phone calls. And yes, I get a ton of that on LinkedIn. There's like this acquisition website. It's called searchfunder.com. So there's a ton of people that are on there that are in every walk of life, every different background, and they're looking to buy businesses, and typically trying to buy small, SMBs like HVAC, plumbing, physical therapy, IT, consulting, literally everything. And I'll post my YouTubes, and I'll post like my different like thoughts, like kind of like LinkedIn. So I post it there for those types of people. And then those people comment or reach out to me and like, hey, I like this thing that you posted, or this. I had like a popular blog post on that platform, and they're like, oh, I saw that you had this blog post about the snail mail letters and all that type of stuff, and they're asking me for like my letters, like the templates, right? So then I put that on gumroad.com. So then I sold out of $1,000 of those things like at $200 a pop. So people are paying $200 for 6 PDFs, which is kind of funny, but I priced it obviously high on purpose. And then, people on that platform will reach out to me, and they'll be like, hey, like, I like this background. I heard you're a physical therapist, you're a practice owner, and you're looking to buy practices, and you're in healthcare. I'm looking at home health deals. I'm looking at this or that, mental health, whatever. I'd love to, catch up with you, pick your brain, whatever. And yeah, I'm done with brain picks.
Do they follow through? Like, so I'm guessing they don't follow. Like when you're like, yeah, absolutely, here's my link to book a call, and then they don't follow through.
Correct. And also I made it a little bit expensive on there. So on my Clarity, it's like, I haven't done a call through there yet because everyone balks at it, because it's like $8 a minute. So like I think you have to pay like $125 up front for like the first, batch of minutes or whatever. So, I mean, if you're reaching out to me, if you're cold or if you're somewhat warm, you're reaching out. If you reach out to me or Jimmy or Tony Maritato, you don't think $125 is worth 8 minutes? If not, like,
I don't know.
It's not for you. Like, think of like, who do I want to reach out to? Right. Like, I know I haven't talked to him yet, Larry Benz. Right. And I probably could through you, and, you've talked to him and on your show and all that. And I do want to get him on my show for an interview.
Let's get him on this show.
Let's get him on this show. But if I wanted to talk to Larry Benz, where it's all about me, meaning like, hey, can we do a private call? And basically, like, can I basically get like a free mentor session with you? Of course it's worth $200 or $300 for 8 minutes.
Here's the problem. Let's define 2 avatars. One is completely lost. Like, yeah, that guy's, I don't know where the distance is between me. I know I want to pick his brain, but I don't even know what. And when you say 8 minutes for $100, someone's like, that's not going to be enough time. It's not going to be enough time because Dave,
you have to navigate so many things, right?
It's not going to be enough time because Dave doesn't know how to give you good information. It's you don't even know what you're looking for, and you can't explain to Dave what he's looking for. So now it's going to take you 2 hours, and that's going to be $10,000. For the people who are looking for, I mean, it'd be amazing. Like, cause like, imagine you were Hitch. Remember the Will Smith movie Hitch? Imagine you were like the Hitch. And I'm sure there's people who do this of like businesses. So instead of Clarity FM, you're like, I'm going to use my social cred to get Dave and someone else on the phone. And then I'm going to be like what's the Jewish term for women who find like matchmaker?
Oh man. I should know this in Brooklyn.
You know what I mean? Like, it's valuable because like someone's good at it, and one connection can be worth. So there's 2 routes, right? So Gary V might say, now I'm going to play the devil's advocate. You shouldn't charge people for this. Like Jerry Durham's been like super advocate. He's like, that's where I get a lot of great connections. Cool. Like if that's where you get energy and you get, good connections, do that. I had someone DM me this morning, and maybe this is like a good topic for the time. It's November. CSM's in 3 months. She DMs me. Let me see if I can open it up too, because it was like funny. It was like, she DM'd me like we knew each other for years, even though like I was like, who is this person? And I have no idea who it is, but good on her. She sort of like just shot her shot. And she was like, what advice do you have for me for preparing for CSM? And I guess she's giving a presentation. So I was like, cool. I like that. And I will help you. But instead of charging her, which she's not going to make any money on a good, even if it's a great CSM presentation, like, is that worth the effort? Absolutely. But I said, I'll do it, but we have to record the call. Because I think 10 other people could benefit from, okay, what's my insight into how to make a great CSM presentation? I'll do it for you, but now I need to get some juice out of it. I'm not going to look the juice from you, but I need to get it from someone. And if it's eyeballs on LinkedIn and YouTube, then we'll do that. So I've sort of taken it to that sort of angle where, yeah, we'll do that, but I've got to record it. And people still balk at that. Like, I don't want people to know my thoughts. I'm very awkward.
Wait, and that's insane.
Christine or Christy Corginet, do you remember, like, she would like message a bunch from LinkedIn on the show? She said she was opening a practice, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Yes.
We did one of those PT Blueprint episodes. And it was like, I think I told you guys it was a therapy session. And I'll say this out loud because we recorded it. So as she's talking, she's very early in the stages of starting her business. So like usually the Blueprint episodes I'm doing for other people who are like, I'm going to take the jump and become a practice owner. So like, share with me information. She's 3 months in. So she's like, I don't know if I have a lot to share. And I'm like, oh, you have a lot to share because you're in the middle of this. You're in chaos. So I sort of held her hostage. Did I tell you about this?
No. Okay. Go on.
So she's essentially telling me, it was a very much of the therapy session. This is worth $125. She's like, I'm like, what do you want to do? She's like trying to like sound like it was a job interview. I'm like, Christine, like talk to me in normal terms. And she said, I believe, I want to be the bariatric PT. And I said, cool. What's the name of your business? And she's like, Local Point or Health Point. And I'm like, no. That doesn't say anything. That's a lot of letters that doesn't say anything. I'm like, and so literally I did like a Tony move where I'm like, whoop, new tab, Squarespace, domain names. I'm like, okay, here's how I held her hostage. I said, Christine, thebariatricpt.com is available right now for $14. In 24 hours, I buy it and I'm going to sell it to you for $1,000. So you have 24 hours to act on your dream, right? Like you've just told me, like your goal is to become the bariatric PT. And you want to do pre and post bariatric surgery rehabilitation for people because it means a lot to you and you think there's a gap. But you haven't bought for $14. You haven't invested in thebariatricpt.com. Bull. And next steps is go get the social accounts after. And she did. And like to her credit, she DM'd me like a few hours later and was just like, I went and got it. So good for her.
There you go.
But awesome. That's worth it. But that was worth it, not for her to pay me for that, maybe, but like it was worth it for me to just do that conversation. So 10 other people can be like, yeah, I want to be the whatever. I want to be the left-handed pitcher PT because I understand the intricacies of biomechanics of left-handed pitcher, but I haven't bought southpaw pitching PT.com. And I'm like, then you're not serious. So look for that episode soon.
Yeah, but real quick, going back to Gary Vee, he used to charge like $16,000 for the 4Ds where you would go on site, you would get an hour with him as a shared group, but you were still paying like $12,000 or $16,000 just for one day.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. He didn't do that first. He did. There was stuff before that probably, right? Because he hired D-Rock off of Craigslist. So yeah, he built that up. So sure. I'm not saying that. So I'm saying for a person it works that way, but he'll also do like Tea with Gary Vee where he'll take calls off of. He doesn't use Discord. He's actually using a different social platform or something now, which that platform.
He used to use Discord, right?
He's using a new one that probably paid him several Home Depot buckets full of money to use because they understand attention. So I just read my audience. My audience there with Christine was like, she's opening a practice. I want to do 1,000 of these episodes. I've done like 10. I want to do 1,000 of these episodes in the next 4 to 5 years. So I'm taking anybody. And I think you can learn something in 15 minutes from pretty much anybody if you ask good questions and then listen long enough. But then I had to push back. I'm like, Christine, I hear what you're trying to do, but you're not doing it. Like from my seat, like I would love your afterthoughts because I did tell Christine, and this wasn't a pitch I made for anybody else. Like JP Guidry was a golf PT, JJ Cordry, I think I'm pronouncing your last name right. She's like a golf PT, and it doesn't have to be sports specific, right? But they're like further on in their thing. Like JP's been doing this for like 18 years, so I think there's a ton for people to learn listening to JP. With Christine, I was like, oh, you are in the messy stage people can relate to you. People are afraid of where you are and you're doing it. So I told her, I'm like, you have to come back on in 3 months. And we need to do like like, how far did you go? Now what? What's the next 3 months? Because I feel like there's a lot of chaos in the first year. And not that there's not chaos later, but you've been in enough fights where you're like, I know how to accomplish this. And she's not there yet in a good way. She's down in North Carolina, Wake Forest. So that's the story. So yeah, I could have charged her money for that, but like, I think I got more than I gave.
Well, just to wrap it up, if you guys are reaching out to Jimmy McKay, he's valuable. His time, and even more so, the deliverable of what you're asking for. If he can provide, troubleshoot all that. So I think we need Jimmy McKay on clarity.
I doubt myself a ton, though. I don't like charging people. I have no problem charging companies. Does that make me an idiot?
Yeah.
Really? I feel so bad, and I bitch about the Peace Corps, Gene, and then I do it. Like I'm not going to say who the company is, but like they have a $3,500 budget, and if I do what they actually need to be done, I'll be left with like $12 because like they need so much work. Like we have $3,500, and I'm like, cool, and I want them to succeed because the idea there is right. If they succeed, they'll be worth so much more. Maybe they'll hire me again, but they won't because they value you, whatever you value you. It's so much easier to give advice than to take it and implement it. Maybe that's why, yeah. How much does it cost for Jimmy to say hi? Free 3.0, Scott. That's Scott, right?
Yeah. So talking about this, Dave, on the screen right now, this is the allergy letter. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically this is from my allergist. It's actually my kid's allergist. They're doing an annual $750 subscription fee to participate. Those are the exact words they used. They're still going to charge for all the services you receive. But basically what it is, I don't know. It says annual. So every year, $750. You had some initial thoughts. Let's start there. What are you thinking?
So first of all, thank you for sharing this. I think more of us, more clinicians, more practice owners need to see what's out there. What are other practices doing? I don't know. You can fill in the gaps, but I'm assuming it kind of looks like the fact that it's, I don't know, multiple things. There's 3 physicians at the bottom, 3 MDs, nice letterhead. I'm just assuming it's an established practice. So that's interesting. They specifically mention no Medicare, no workers' comp or commercial insurance. They list specifically that we're not accepting or billing any of these payers anymore. And yep, got a haircut. Thank you, Will. So I love this sharing this letter because more of the in our world and in your groups and all that, like they get to kind of see what else is out there. All they have to do is, you can expand on this. You can, of course, we're going to get into the nitty gritty of like, all right, well then how much is this allergy practice going to charge for just consults? And then, charge a little bit more for like the allergy testing, of course. And, the allergy shots are already out of pocket, I think, for most insurances, but we can get into it. But I love it. I am also, like I said, really interested in 6 to 12 months from now. Like, how is it going? Maybe we need to send, Tony's son just to do like a walkthrough visit or something. Just like and we ask him like, hey, is it busy? Like, do they look less stressed? Do they have less paperwork on the counter? Like, I'm a nerd. Like, I want to find out, like, is it like so much better there? Are they like happier, or like, is it any different from the patient side? Those are the things that are kind of swirling around in my head.
Can we talk about their logo though? Like literally like Bernstein Allergy Group. It's in ragweed. Like it's like weeds. Like that's understanding your audience. There was a great like foot and ankle surgeon in the DC, Arlington, Virginia area. And it was like a map of like all the counties in bones. And it looked like the ankle. And I was like, someone paid a little extra, and most people are going to miss the joke. The people who get it talk about it 10 years later. And I was like, that nailed it. So what was that thing called? Like if you want to buy season tickets for the Giants, it's like a seat
license.
So you have to buy a license to save your seat, your spot in line, to then for the right to then buy tickets.
Yep.
This is just a fee, right? But like how you frame it is like, well, you need the license. And then like the license has value because if you buy the license, and I don't know how the license work, is it a one-time fee or it can't be an every year fee? It's like a down payment on real estate. It's like, here's the down payment and then you could pay every year. So it's like the Giants were the first ones that I heard did it. I'm not saying they were the first ones that did it, but they were like, you have to pay a license and then you pay for the season tickets. And the license was like, I paid for it. And then every year, of course, season tickets go up a little bit. I'm going to continue to pay that. But you owned the license and then you could sell the license later on because they ain't really putting more seats in Giant Stadium or whatever the hell we're calling it now, MetLife Stadium. So that was an interesting angle. I thought this was similar to that, which is this is a retainer. Like lawyers have been doing this for decades. Like this is going back to Jimmy loves pyramids and Venn diagrams, right? Very visual, but you're selling access. Like this is like you have to be a member of the club. And to be a member of the club, there ain't no club unless everybody sort of throws some money in to cover our costs and do this. And that's, you feel better when you have access to a lawyer. You feel better when you have access to someone. So I think this is, if you have allergies, I mean, obviously some of you guys do, right? Your kids do. Dude, allergies suck. And if you had to wait an extra day or week, that sucks. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out. My prediction is I think it will play out well because I don't know what the attrition rate will be. They're going to lose 20% of people that say, you know what? Screw you. Awesome. Those people they weren't invested anyway. And that's okay. Now, hold on a second. Did they say they were going to add anything into this?
I don't recall.
Subscription fee. I wouldn't have called it a subscription fee. I would have called it like a retainer or something cute like that. There will be a cap on limiting the number of patients. Scarcity.
I like exclusivity. Yep. Scarcity. Yep.
Smart. Our new practice model exists for primary care doctors. I think they had too many words. I mean, I would give very few notes on this email. I would have done it less. I would have added what you get from this. I would have been like, with this, you get an 800 number and you will get called back within 6 hours, no matter the time of day. I don't know.
We can guarantee like less waiting time.
If you're a member, you skip the line, right? Like why is Disney's Fast Pass a thing? Why is TSA pre-check almost at this point not even worth it? Because it's like everybody's got, if you go to the airport, a busy airport, like a lot of people have it, but best, I forget what TSA pre-check was, best $150 of my life so far. But so I don't know. I think it's a brilliant move. I would love to know from anybody out there in PT. Do you guys know any people in our profession that are doing this?
So let's talk about that. First, a couple of the mistakes that I think they made, like big missed opportunities. I think they went like, it's ridiculous to say $750 a year. Why even bother? This is one of those deals where it should have been a minimum 5,000, probably should have been upwards of 10 to 15 or 20,000.
Wow.
If you're going to swing big, like this was a scared move on their part because you need some major kind of change to make it worth your while. $750. Like I charge $100 a month, $1,200 a year for some of the things that I do. And that nobody even blinks at that. $750 a year is just, it's not enough. I think they messed up there. I think like you guys said, go ahead, Dave.
Well, I agree. I think they're like trying to be half pregnant. Like they're dipping their toe into this and they're like, they can have models and, on a spreadsheet, on a Google sheet, whatever, with numbers. And like Jimmy said, like they're going to project like how many people are going to drop off, like how many people of the current base are going to actually convert and pay the $750. And they want to capture more of those people. Right. So like next year they'll have, it'll be $2 or $3 grand, maybe.
That's exactly what's going to happen. They're proving to themselves what they can do. And each year it's going to go up. And now in 3 years, they're going to be like, why didn't we just do this the first year? I think a target should have been, let's wipe out 80% of the people that are on caseload right now. And if we do that, we lose 80%.
But you can provide
how much should we charge per year to make up the difference? And then that's the target that I would be looking for. I agree with you guys. Way too many words. Like nobody is going to understand and comprehend all of that stuff. I think they could have done this in like 3 or 4 bullet points. And the emphasis should have been on, we want to provide a premium experience. This is the way we can afford to do that.
Yeah.
And they could have mentioned other places where people could go if they don't want to pay the $15,000 a year. Totally fine. Like that's what we do in our clinic when we're offering a premium service. Is we say, look, go to the hospital, go down the road, go to NovaCare across the street. There are plenty of places that will just give you what the insurance is paying for. Now, I know this group, we've been with this group. It was one of the early adopters of OIT, which is oral immunotherapy. So one of our boys has a tree nut allergy. We went through like the protocol. I mean, we've been with them for years. We're not staying with them, not just because of the 750, just because we don't have the need for that anymore. We completed 2 years of OIT. My boy's on a maintenance dose. He consumes tree nuts once to twice a week. He's been stable for probably another 3 or 4 years. So, we just don't need it. But that being said, how can we bring this into our world as PTs, and go ahead, Jimmy.
You do, right? I mean, you offer people an off-ramp out of PT to be able to stay and have the things that they tasted and felt while they were in your clinic, right? I mean, you're doing this, maybe not to that degree, but
well, that's the thing. So I think too many of us are like all or none. There's nothing in between. There's absolutely in between. Yes, it's true. PT, OT, SLP cannot opt out of Medicare, which means we can't enter into a private contract with a Medicare beneficiary for covered services. But my argument, just like these guys, my argument is the stuff that most of us are doing, it's not covered by Medicare anyway. If it is a covered service, bathing, dressing, feeding, grooming, self-care in the home, if it is a covered service, just send them to a Medicare contracted PT if you can't deliver that service. But what most of us are doing with motivation and encouragement and performance and accountability and lifestyle change, treating and managing chronic disease over the long term, that's not covered by Medicare. Goals related to recreation and travel and leisure, not covered by Medicare. So we absolutely could say, look, this is our annual fee. It's $10,000 a year. For that fee, you get all of these benefits, including text messaging anytime a day, 24 hours a day, telephone calls, in-person calls, virtual calls, referrals. Like I was in the doctor's office this morning. Shoot. I took a picture. Here's the deal. I go into the doctor's. It's a non-surgical orthopedic this morning because one of my other boys has a 4-week follow-up for a fractured thumb. I'm sitting there. He comes over. We're talking. I say, hey, okay, my boy's doing great, but in 2 seconds, I've got a patient coming to see you on Thursday. This is what's going on for that patient. This is what we've done so far. This is why she's coming to see you. She's seeing you Thursday morning. And I've got another patient playing football, injured his shoulder on Friday night's game. They want to get in. Is there any chance they can come see you this Thursday because they have a game on Friday and they want to be as close to the Friday night game so that you can clear him to play? I got that boy a 7:30 a.m. appointment, and my other patient is coming to see him Thursday anyway. So like the point of this is, if people were going to join my community of patients, they're not joining because of my extensive physical therapy knowledge. They are joining because of the connections and my ability to get them into an orthopedic that might have taken 6 weeks. I can get them in 2 days. Like Dave understands this better than anyone. You're buying access to my Rolodex, not just my knowledge.
But do you advertise that, by the way? Like, do you put that on any, like, your website? Or I don't remember seeing that anywhere.
I don't. I dropped the ball on that. I'm guilty. I should. Like, this would be a benefit that would be included within the annual fee that somebody wants to charge, that we should put a name to. Credit Jimmy. Put a name to it and let people know. I guess I just assume like people at that level who are willing to pay that money already know, look, I have connections. I can get you in with any orthopedic way faster than if you just randomly call the office and try to get in. There's a guy in Naples charging $25,000 a year, And this is his primary like offer is
What?
that he can get patients into specialists within a couple days because they are his
matchmaker.
patient. Huh?
Medical matchmaker.
Totally. Yeah.
Just named it.
I love it. What are you thinking, Jimmy?
I want to know what the Jewish term for matchmaker is.
So I
Yenta.
texted
It's
my
a yenta. It's a yenta.
That's it.
I knew Google would tell me. I think it's great. I think I'm very good at telling people that they should do this because I can see the brilliance in what they do. And then I go ahead and not do this.
Yeah.
Like so many people like come and I have no problem. Like I'm going to redo my bathroom. Like shout out to anybody in the Northeast who wants to come redo my bathroom with me. And I actually went into a Facebook group and I live not in New York City. So the statement I'm about to make, and I shared in this Facebook group in my little itty bitty town in upstate New York, blew up the internet in this Facebook group. Everybody goes in there and they look for like handyman or tell people when their yard sale is. It's very much a little 3-village Facebook group. And I went in there and I did the opposite. I said, I'm looking for the most expensive plumber to redo my bathroom. And I got, I think you mean cheapest. And I think you mean this and this. I'm like, no.
I love it.
I'm looking for the most expensive. Then I will sort out the 3 most expensive and I will decide which one of those from those 3 most expensive is the best. I did not decide to go to Amazon and sort by lowest to highest price. I understood that the market decides. And since the whole phrase buy once, cry once, I would like to pay for a bathroom. It's going to hurt no matter what. It's going to hurt a little more for a great bathroom. But 3 years from now, I'm going to have a great bathroom. That's my idea. So I blew up my Facebook.
You get any DMs from this? Did you get any like of the plumbers?
Yeah, and my point was,
DMing you?
I got a few. I could charge you whatever you want. But I think I'm like, great, you're not good then. Because you're telling me you don't normally charge that because you're normally not worth that. And I got one guy who said, listen, I don't know if I'm the kind of guy you're looking for. Here's 3 samples of bathrooms. By the way, I charge $600 for the eval. And I said, found my guy. Because a bathroom, like that's like charging like 25 cents. No, it's like charging like a dime for a taste test of an ice cream, right? I know what I'm paying for. I know what a bathroom's probably going to cost.
And to your guys' earlier conversation about Dave's Clarity account, I pulled it up on the screen. The whole idea here is you're right. The tire kicker who's not going to take the advice anyway is not going to pay $8.33 a minute.
Yeah.
But the employee of a Fortune 500 company who needs an expert opinion in this specific niche, it's a drop in the bucket. They're not even going to think about hiring Dave for an hour to answer their questions. The person who needs a connection through Dave, who can make that connection in 5 to 8 to 15 minutes, they're not going to think twice about that. And it's so simple for the people who understand. Yeah. The pyramid.
You're showing
again.
access and you're saving time. Like
Right.
That's where those things lie on that pyramid. So I have a crazy idea. We didn't plan on this and we're 32 minutes in this podcast. Using everything we just said, we could do one live stream a week for 1 hour where someone paid us the equivalent of whatever our, in theory, combined Clarity FM calls, right? And we're going to do this. What's that? Either live or what would someone pay for all 3 of us if they were like, yeah, we listen to you for free? Because that's the model, right? I go on Instagram and I have sexy videos. And then I go, by the way, I'm on OnlyFans. That's the model, right? That's the brilliant model. Let's give it away on YouTube, give it away on LinkedIn. And then by the way, you get enough people going, you know what? Fine. Like, I know you can do what you do because you showed it off twice a week, every week for 9 years. So in theory, if someone were looking to whatever the hell is that our combined efforts would do, it's a mishmash. Or the A team. Which one of us is B.A. Baracus? Which one of us is Mr. T? Half the audience has no idea. They're like, what do you mean? Bradley Cooper? Like, I don't know who that is.
A team?
Yeah, a team. A team. A funny story there, but in theory, that would work, right? We'll charge you X to do it in private. We'll charge you X minus 25% if we can live stream it too. I make that deal. If someone asks me to go on their podcast, absolutely. But within a week of you airing it first, you have to give me the audio. Because I just spent an hour of my time spitting fire. Why wouldn't I share that with the people that listen to me already? Why would I not use that myself?
So this is a perfect segue. Jimmy, if you can get the screenshot from my YouTube video.
Yeah.
You know, what Jimmy's describing is kind of what I've been pitching to anyone who's willing to listen. And I put a post on LinkedIn on the screen right now. This is a YouTube short. It's roughly 10 days old. You can see the graph if you're watching on YouTube. It goes, flat. I mean, it was a couple hundred views. And then right around day 6, we were sitting at 6,000 views, which is amazing for one of my YouTube shorts.
This is a short.
On my
short.
It's a short. Yep. This is on my knee replacement channel. And then for whatever happened, if you read what YouTube is telling me, wow, you got way more views and your short is getting shared more than usual.
Not
it
just
blew
you.
up. It was accumulating 2,000 views an hour. It's at 179,000 views at around the 10-day mark. Hundreds and hundreds of comments, thousands and thousands of thumbs up, likes. But my point in this is, between the affiliate income that a video like that's going to generate, the opportunity for that was part of a paid campaign. I was paid to create videos for this specific chairlift device. So I generated the money from being paid to create the video. I generated money from the patient who was receiving billable services in my physical therapy clinic, who did sign a social media HIPAA compliant release form. I'm being, growing my channel. That one video, that 34-second video, has generated over 600 subscribers to my channel. It's just crazy how much that is growing. And to Jimmy's point, we should not only rely on insurance reimbursement for monetization, right? And I think we all understand that. And Jimmy, I do want to talk about your post about selling products. Yeah. But this, to me, is where all of the future revenue for my business is going to come from. My business will be fully funded through YouTube and affiliate income and social media. Any pennies I get from the insurance company, it's just going to be like icing on the cake. It's just bonus time.
Yeah. So as yours was going crazy, I had one not as crazy, but this was a short that I created. And you can see, I just love, it doesn't matter. Don't even look at how many views, 577. Look at the typical above average, right? So when I see your graph, right, it did nothing for 9 days or 8 days. And then why? Right. I don't know. #algorithms. This looks like it's flattening off, but then in the last 48 hours, I had another couple of spikes. So again, the algorithm is not working against you. I'm not saying I have it figured out. The algorithm is working for itself. So figure out what it's looking to try to do. So your thing was blowing up. So did you, I showed you this video, didn't I?
What?
I'm going to share this tab instead. So have you seen these types of videos online before? It's sort of like, oh, how come I can't share? There we go. Essentially, it's like text on screen. Sorry, I don't know why this is delayed. Like text on screen. There's a computer operated voice. It's a voiceover, right? And then the background video is someone playing this weird Minecrafty video game, but you have to sort of pay attention. I created this in probably 90 seconds, and it's gotten me 7 hours of watch time. So what I did was I went to Reddit. I went to the physical therapy thread in Reddit. I found crazy patient stories. I copied and pasted one into this app. Took me a minute or two to make the story, and then it read it for me and put this weird video behind it. And then I got 5 hours.
No way. Wow.
I made 3 of these, and they all did pretty much the same in terms of views. So if I keep doing that, I'm telling YouTube who likes my stuff, and that's a help.
That brings me the idea of going into my total knee replacement support group on Facebook, grabbing some of the longer posts, putting it into, HeyGen or any of the audio generators, at scale. And just, I mean, there are tens of thousands of posts going through that group every single year. You absolutely could create a faceless YouTube channel, just focus on sharing these kinds of posts, do it condition specific so that when somebody comes to that channel, hears something about their knee condition, the next video isn't a shoulder condition, it's all knee conditions.
Right.
That would be a huge opportunity for somebody who just wanted to create YouTube revenue.
I hope somebody steals this, but they wouldn't even have to go through all those different steps. I'm bringing it up right now on the screen. Like, you wouldn't even have to go through all those steps. Like, somebody thought about this. This is the inside look at video AI. So video AI, usually I drop in after this episode, I'm going to drop this in this video from this live stream. I'm going to drop it in and find a few clips and then share this via my social platforms. It now does this. Like, number one, it'll generate your own script. So if I was like, write me a story from the patient perspective of a funny story with a twist about somebody who had a knee replacement, it'll generate the script. Or you just add your own script and drop it. So I would add the script here. I continue. Now it's like, hey, what voiceover voice do you want?
It is not so important to know
What
everything as to
subtitle, what
appreciate
background
what we
do you
learn.
want? I'll create that for you. So someone already saw that and was like, duh, I'll make it nice and easy, because video AI was like paying attention, knew their audience, and did that. So you wouldn't even need to know the tech. It's already there. By the way, I have an affiliate code for video AI. You can DM me now at jimmy@ptpodcast.com.
So here's my question for both of you guys. Hang on one sec, Dave. The majority of therapists aren't ever going to see this episode because they're too busy treating patients. They're too busy on the hamster wheel. They can't keep their head above water. They're slowly drowning in a puddle of water. A couple people are watching this, going to listen to it, but like such a huge part of the population of our peers, they're just so busy. They don't have time to think. They don't even know these tools exist. Like, how do we get the information to them? How do we disseminate it and help them kind of find some freedom? Dave, you were going to say something before I cut you off.
I hope I'm wrong here. I think it's crazy, Tony, for you to think that your main income is going to come from these silly videos online. I hope I'm wrong. I think I love all this nerdy video tech stuff to generate awareness, kind of like the Gary Vee stuff, right? It's like Gary Vee puts all this stuff out, but the whole intent is to like continue to build brand and awareness. And then when he writes a new book, which also takes a lot of skill and time and all that effort, everything, he writes a new book, it becomes a New York Times bestseller, and he uses all of this consumer video stuff that he does for, to get in front of consumers. And then he uses that data, and then he goes to, Gillette and all these like big brands and says, here, like, obviously we're specialists in getting attention. And then he's got huge multi-million-dollar deals and clients for what they do at VaynerMedia and VaynerX and all that. And then he can invest in companies and all that. He makes his money with the offline activities, offline deals, offline engagements. I hope I'm wrong. And I don't see, a lot of real life colleagues, examples where people are making, for example, the faceless YouTube channels, and then like they're set for life. Like they don't need an in-person, business or consulting company or some business that can ever operate without them. I don't know.
No, I agree.
I'm not totally there.
I agree with you. I think this is a, revenue generator that absolutely does need to take the next step into the next phase, whether that be, okay, I've got a YouTube channel that's generating a couple 100,000 in revenue a year. That is, getting information out and monetizing patient care in a different way. Now I'm going to take that money and I'm going to go invest in businesses. I'm going to do other things. It's going to open the door for bigger projects. Yeah. The phase one is get the monetization. Phase two is what do you do with that monetization? But on the flip side, I would also say, yeah, Mr. Beast, Beast Burger, Beastables, all that other stuff. You've got
okay, but he's like, he is like extremely rare.
Yeah, but
there's more people ringing the register with a therapy business, a consulting business, a matchmaking business.
Now, like, I don't know if he's rare, but of course he's rare. He's first. Doesn't mean he's last, though. Doesn't mean it won't shift. Doesn't mean it
and
can't.
I would also say, you know, we're talking to clinicians right now. I would think if we polled the average clinician, they would be happy replacing 150, 200,000 a year with this kind of stuff. And I think you can absolutely replace a $150,000 to $200,000 a year income with something as simple as social media. We're not talking about millions a year or tens of millions.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, you pulled this up, right? You just met with him recently, David?
I just met him at AMPT, but we had interacted a few times before. So like, David might be that guy.
So like he puts out amazing videos, right? He's been doing YouTube maybe as long as Tony, kind of in that range. I would love for people to share the way that I shared my Google ads. Like, no one does that, right? I showed, like, I'm like, here's how much I have spent in, you know, per month and per year and all that and all that. So like, I would love for the David Midowls of the world, or, you know, like, to be like, okay, whatever it was, 600, whatever thousand subscribers. I would be curious. Like, I would want to know what amount of money comes from this YouTube channel, like just from the ads, like just from the actual videos, as opposed to how much comes from the in-person treatments. And it's going to be at least 75% of his income, if not 90%, still comes from the in-person therapy.
I would guess.
No way.
Say it again.
So what split? What split do you think of his total income?
Sorry, Jimmy, I know you're trying to get in here. With the numbers that I see on his YouTube channel, with other video content, and with what Jimmy just showed with courses and stuff that he's got on the website, I bet he's 90-10. 90% of his net profit comes from online content and video. 10% comes from patient care, if that.
And then even the patient care that comes in is probably from the content. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
right, but it's monetized in person for most practices,
but not at a $60 copay. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's charging more because his radius is not El Paso. It's like Stu McGill. I had Stu McGill on my podcast before Huberman. I don't want to brag or anything, but back when I was a student in PT school, I had McGill. I was very confused. I should resurface that episode. But he would say how people would fly from Europe because he would write books. I mean, he was writing PDFs back, you know, before people were making videos. But like, so I would say, like, is he monetizing PT, or is he monetizing attention he got from ads or content or books or appearance on Huberman?
But to Dave's credit, like Dave's saying, okay, so now what does he do with that money? Like, where is that money going? I have no idea, but I have to think he's generating, you know, 6 figures of net profit. What is he doing with that money? Is it going into real estate? Is it going into stocks? Is it going into, you know, is he doing brand deals where he's got equity in startup companies? Did you guys talk about any of that, Jimmy?
Stu McGill?
No.
Oh,
the
David?
El Paso guy.
We talked about it a little bit. I don't want to say what we talked about because it's not my story, but I've invited him on. So if he wants to talk about that, he can. So anything he told me.
You haven't interviewed him yet.
I haven't interviewed him yet. No, we had a drink at a bar. So I don't, what people know about me is I talk a lot, but if you tell me something at a bar, I don't go and live stream it. So yeah, I would have him tell how much he wants to tell about that. But that,
no, absolutely.
You know what I would love to see? Someone like David to put it as a paid course. Make it, I don't know, $50. Make it $100, whatever. And say I'm saying the course is, I'm going to show you my back end. I'm going to show you how much I make from YouTube versus how much I make from in-person treatment, whatever. That now, of course, Tony would advocate like that should actually be on YouTube, like publicly. It should be available, because at least for me, I want to kind of see like what's possible, what's out there. A mastermind for clinicians on helping clinicians go from stress and overwhelm.
We've talked about this. Sorry, Dave, you're cutting out a little bit. I didn't mean to step on you. We've talked about this. I've talked about like, hey, what if we did a 1-day creator con just for healthcare professionals? I would go a little wider than PTs. My question is like, would people buy it? I think we should put up a website and say the ticket's $1,000, but we're going to provide $5,000 in value. I'm going to go get the best Instagram person we know. I'm going to go get the best ads person, as Will chimes in. We'll get an ads person. We'll get a finance, like, who are your things? So we wouldn't necessarily get paid for the content. We get paid because we got everybody together. He's seen quite a few of the influencer content creator business, and they don't make nearly what people think.
And thank you, Will Boyd. That is what I am suggesting. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have specific numbers, but that is my hunch.
We're
and
still
Will Boyd,
early. This is still early. We're still very.
I know, but we're talking about right now. Are we going to talk about 3 years from now, 5 years from now?
That's why we invest money now. We invest money, time, and effort and skills now.
And I agree. It should be happening. I agree.
Yes, that's what Tony's saying. He's like, this can be. He said there will be a practice. There's somebody in PT school now who will make a significant portion of their income. Look at prehab guys. They did it backwards. They had an Instagram account go hit 1 million, garnering attention. Now they have a suite of clinics in California. They did it backwards. That's proof of concept, right?
Real quick, Scott did say a few minutes ago, Tony is extremely rare. Agree? Yes, 100% agree. 100% agree. And he's put in so much work. I think more than 99.9% of the clinicians out there will ever do.
Yeah. So Will brings up a great point. No one talks about opportunity cost. You have to run content as a business itself to make that work.
Agreed.
And I'm a massive failure when it comes to that. I invest a disproportionate amount of time, I fully admit it, in doing things that are not profitable, doing things that will never be profitable. I took the slowest road. I've seen so many other content creators blow me away. Like they started way below me and they've blown way past me. But that being said, my justification in my own head is, I'm at a comfortable level financially. I've been extremely fortunate in multiple ways, health and finance and, family and all those things. And I feel like I've been sharpening the axe probably way too long, that at some point I'm going to take that swing and chop the cherry tree down real quick. But yeah, it's true. We do put way too much time into things. And I think I've always done it because it feels safe. If I don't hit success, but I'm working towards success, it feels safe for me. If I hit success, that gets scary because once I hit success on one thing, then I feel compelled that I have to do it again. And I don't know that I can. So I will say there's a little bit of insecurity and self-preservation and ego that comes into working hard and staying busy, but never becoming successful. That's a comfortable place for me. And I'm trying really hard for myself to push out of that comfort zone and say, okay, let's take the next step. Let's move to the next level. And let's really kind of test these skills that I've developed over 20 years of practice.
Another thought or comment on this and kind of the whole, David Middow and other therapists on YouTube doing what he's doing. Here's why it's extremely dangerous. If he gets hit by a bus right now, his YouTube channel is done. Like, even if he's got, no, it's good. Oh, okay. It's going to continue for a little, eventually YouTube's going to be like, well, this account's not putting out new videos. It'll probably throttle the reach down. All of a sudden, if the YouTube new uploads is 0, eventually it's going to get dinged, I believe. Now, of course, he could be residual income, but is that going to be enough for his now surviving family or whatever to live on? I can't imagine.
You could sell that.
That's the thing. I would say if he gets hit by a bus, his clinic is done.
Yes, his clinic is done. Who's going to buy this YouTube channel?
Oh, there's a lot of people that would buy that YouTube
to flip
channel.
It to their clinic. You can change the name of that channel to Brooklyn Physical Therapy, and you could. I mean, look at the model. Can you actually change the URL, like at youtube.com/whatever El Paso PT or what, I don't know, whatever his thing is? This
Yeah,
is
so
intellectual
I've
property.
changed the URL, I've changed the tag, I've changed the URL. It's still, I've taken breaks for months at a time, and I still continue to generate the same revenue that I had. That would be an ideal candidate for. I don't know that another physical therapist would buy it, because the cost of buying it would probably be so high for another.
You would need a product.
What?
A product.
Yeah, that's where I would go with it. A product company would come in and purchase it, or a media company would come in and purchase it and leverage all of that, history and algorithm into something new.
How do you guys remember before Tony had Choose PT First? Do you remember Get PT First from Sean Hagee?
Yeah.
Okay, how come no one bought that? He stopped working on it.
So I talked to him about it. I wanted it.
Me too, but go ahead.
Yep. It's one of those deals where he was very selective about what happens to it. And I think he would rather just see it disappear than sell it to someone who is going to do something that he didn't approve of. And he built it, so it was his call.
It was emotion.
Illogical.
What are you thinking?
From my view, it looked like he was like, I'm going to put out this idea that people should. Now, hold on, follow me. Get PT First. And he bought the domain, right? I think Sean was great. I think what Sean, because here's the reason I can spot what happened with Get PT First, is because it's happened to me first as well. You put out the idea, and then you're like, right? And then you're like, you wait for 1 million people to follow you. And they didn't. People were just like, yeah, man, we've been saying that in different ways. You bought the URL, and he made some content in 2015, and it did. There was no product there. It was an idea. Try to sell an idea. That's hard.
So Dave said, I'm with you, Dave. Someone who just had a business partner had a heart attack. Did we know this? I did this come out publicly before just like a minute ago?
Like a couple weeks ago, or maybe like a week ago. Yeah, I saw that.
So happy we didn't build off a personal brand. Now, what's interesting here, though, and Will Boyd, I'm happy for you to chime in. 20 years ago, when I started my business, I said, I am never building a business on a personal brand. I don't want doctors sending to Tony Maritato. I don't want anybody even knowing that I exist. I'm building total therapy solutions as a generic, physical therapy provider. And I would have told every single person that came to me, do not name it after yourself. Do not involve yourself. Do not market yourself. Like, build the business as something that will be sold down the road separate from you. But we live in such a different economy today that today, like Gary Vee, most people don't even know the name of Gary Vee's media company and the other stuff that he's got. They only know Gary Vee. And he has built so much equity around himself and his name. But his actual business, it could be sold. It could be like publicly traded, all of these things. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to treat patients in the clinic, but every piece of content you see me put out is about me, my philosophy, my personality. Like, I'm sharing the connection with me as an individual, even though patients in my clinic don't see me unless somebody's out sick and I'm covering. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Oh, 9:31.
Do more live streams. All right, parting shots. What do you guys got?
Dave.
I'm
surprised there's no moonshine, like from where you're sitting, or you don't have like a
too early for the moonshine. Parting shots. We covered a couple of different things. I want to go back to the allergist letter. I do like the reminder from everyone here that in that letter, less words and a little bit more on here's the benefits. Like, here's why there was no pre-sale or like really like, here's the, less waiting list, less paperwork, less, I don't know, bureaucracy, less, no authorizations, no prior authorizations, that type of stuff. Get you in whatever, 24 hours, 48 hours, those types of things, the things that consumers really care about. And I didn't mention it earlier, but one of my best friends is an allergist. I've done the allergy testing, like the little things on your skin. And, like there are ways to optimize that, like whether it's like a TV in the room, because like you sit there and like now your arms are itching, right? Like I don't know, or you bring in like some tea or coffee or whatever, and like the insurance practice can't do that, but a concierge or like a out-of-pocket allergy practice like this, now they might be able to do that, like TVs. I don't know, VR goggles from Vestibular First to watch some, I don't know, to do some VR games. I don't know, whatever. Some tea, some Brooklyn bagels, like those types of things. So I don't know. I think we'll cover this in future episodes around like how else we can optimize that experience for our patients and clients if we're going completely out of pocket or concierge or subscription, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, mine is the same. Sticking with that. Don't ask, can we do this? Ask, how can we do this? How can we bring that model into what we do? Why should we bring that model into what we do? Because nobody watching this is a new grad. Nobody watching this is an average or below average PT. So the idea is you shouldn't be working for minimum wage for the rest of your life. Working for an insurance provider is working for minimum wage. It's easy. There are some advantages to it, but if you really want to deliver exceptional care and exceptional patient care experience, you have to move past that. You have to get, kind of this kind of, hey, we need the revenue to fund this so that we can do the things that nobody else is able to do.
I think we are absolute hypocrites unless we actually start doing this for people. Like, unless we just did what everybody just said, right? So where's our, I don't want to, like, where's our mastermind, or where's our thing actually providing something for people to do? Like we're hypocrites unless we do this and sell it to the 21 people watching live. I want to sell you $1,000, but I want to give you $10,000 worth of value. I think us three on the screen are hypocrites unless we do that. Whether it's our own version of a media company like Barstool Sports and PT, or whatever the hell it is we do, why the hell people listen. I think we're the last people that are going to know why people listen, ironically, right? Is it companionship? Is it just for an idea or two? I don't know. I feel like we're going to be hypocrites unless we do it.
Dave?
Send one of us an email or a DM. You could find us somewhere online if you guys are interested in paying for us to potentially, I don't know, I think we're floating this out there in real time to help craft your subscription-based offer to your patients, like the retainer model. Then we can price out like your other offerings, whatever. We'll write maybe the letter, the email, that type of stuff. We'll make it better than the letter that we showed on the screen. Two ways
to pay. We'll figure out what a fair price is, or 50% of that price, and we can televise everything. I'll put my money where my mouth is, because I think taking the money and getting the attention is worth it. Because if we can do it for one person, you think John Taffer needs to knock on one door and ask if their bar wants to be improved? No, because he's shown he can do it 95 times. I'm willing to do that. Tony's not answering, which means he loves this idea or he hates this idea.
No, I know he loves it. It's November 5th, by the way. It's November 5th. Like,
January 1.
Yes. So we could potentially help other practices maybe in December or get ready to launch in January with this. And that way you have less nervousness because you are watching or listening to this, and maybe you thought about this in the past. You love this idea. But if there was some, boxed solution with support and all that, maybe that, I think that would make for great content at the very least. And at the very, best, maybe it could change your practice and how you operate.
I agree. All right, I got to wrap up because I'm going to another call, but I say we do this in early January. All right, go have a great day. We'll talk soon. Thanks for listening. I appreciate that.
The PT Pinecast is a product of PT Pinecast LLC. It is hosted and produced by PT Pinecast CEO Jim McKay and CBO Sky Donovan from Marymount University. We talk PT, drink beer, and record it. This has been another pour from the PT Pinecast. The PT Pinecast is intended for educational purposes only. No clinical decision-making should be based solely on one source. While care is taken to ensure accuracy, factual errors can be present. More on the show at ptpinecast.com.
Today's episode brought to you by Owens Recovery Science, a single source for PTs who want to add personalized blood flow restriction rehabilitation training to their clinical practice. Get certified at owensrecoveryscience.com. the all-in-one outpatient PT EMR built on automation. That's Empower EMR. They empower owners, physical therapists, billers, and your front desk to profitably provide the best possible patient care experience. Find them online at empoweremr.com. That is empoweremr.com.